Hello, everyone, and welcome to Black Talents TV's Being the Talk. Again, we are a podcast show where we have engaging conversation with influential guests in the entertainment industry. My name is Simone Jackson. Of course, I am your host. And again, we are kicking off our Women's Month with more great interviews, and we have a really special guest today. She's an up-and-coming filmmaker. She is part of AT&T Hello Lab Mentorship program under the membership of Octavia Spencer. We are really happy to have her on here, Miss Gabrielle Shepherd. Hi, Gabrielle.
Hi, happy to be here. Good to talk to you.
Thank you for being on here with us. We are excited to talk with you this morning, and great to get your thoughts. And we're really glad you took some time and came and talked to us today.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a fun ride so far, even just with the movies and talking about them. And I love talking about the programs because it's so important. So
absolutely,
anytime.
Yeah. So let's kick it off. So my first question is for you: is what inspired your passion for this filmmaking?
For my filmmaking career, I kind of was always obsessed with stories. And even when I was younger, I would write them. When I was bored, when I wasn't bored, I was reading. So I was always in that world. And then that kind of just like evolved over the years. So when I was younger, it was books. And then when I got to college, I started writing. And then at the end of college, when it was time to start thinking about what it was that I really wanted to do, I had started dabbling in the film industry. And I had an uncle who was in the industry already. He worked at Lionsgate, and that was kind of the first time that I even realized that it was an option, that it was an opportunity, like a job that you could do. Yeah, so then I did some internships, and then I was lucky enough to be able to intern on the set of The Hunger Games, like on the production side. And it was incredible. It was incredible, but that's really when it was happening all around me, and I knew that I had the bug. So after that, it was kind of a done deal. And it kind of was just something that was always instilled in my family. Like we used to have Friday night movie night, but like you had to be there. So regardless of whose sleepover, who was having a party, like Friday night, all five of my brothers and sisters had to be on our couch watching a movie together, like as a family.
I think that's crazy to have a relative in the industry and not really realizing it.
Yeah, well, he had been interested in it too, kind of like interning around, but we always lived in different parts of the country, and I went to go stay with him, like in California, for a summer, and it was just a whole new experience, like a whole new job. It's just sometimes it helps you just see people who look like you doing things that you don't even know are possible.
Yes.
And that's when I realized that when it was Micah who was doing it.
Yeah, it is. It's important to see. No, you're right. It is important to see representation and to see someone like yourself doing something that you want to do, because it motivates you even more. Like if that person can do it, then there is no doubt that I can do it. So that is, I get it. That representation is very, very important, and this is why people talk
even
about
knowing
it.
That it's possible.
Yes,
people don't even know that it's possible, like that it's an option. It's like doctor, lawyer, teacher, like all the typical things, and then Black filmmakers, like, oh, that's also a thing that's on the roster too.
Yeah, and I want to just give a shout out to all the Black directors who are paving that way, especially giving a shout out to Ryan Coogler from Black Panther. He's really paving that way for Black. Yeah, he's really paving the way for Black filmmakers to really, give them that chance, because, Ryan Coogler proved this is what Black filmmakers can do. So, if he can do something like that, imagine what you can do with the project, and imagine what you can bring to it and what you can create with it. I mean, the possibility is endless.
He completely shattered every ceiling, every glass ceiling that there is. Now there's no question of what if a Black director directed a superhero movie? Like what's it gonna look like? Is it gonna be successful? Like now he's answered all of those questions. There's no reason why there won't be more. I went to go see it for the second time actually on Monday.
It is okay. Everyone around me has seen it like 3, 4, 8 times. It is okay. That's acceptable. It's a great movie. You can see as many times as you like. It's acceptable. So,
Okay.
so what's it like for you to see some of your programs featured in some of the film festivals?
There's always a moment whenever that's happening, like wherever I'm screening it, where it makes it all worth it. Like you go through a lot to make a movie, and it's fun a lot of the time. Sometimes it's not fun, but like the reason that I do it is so people can enjoy it. So that when I hear people after the movies, they come up to me and they tell me whatever way that they connected or experienced the movie is, even if it's not the same intention that I have, or even something that I was even ever aware of. It's important. It's important because it connects to people. Like that's what I'm here to do, is to make people feel things. And I've had people come up for Candid specifically because it's about passing and death and coping and moving on. I've had so many people just like tell me their personal stories of their grandparents who have passed away, or their aunt, like how they're dealing with that. And even though I don't even know these people, we share like it's an opportunity to create just like a space of personal connection, like human connection, real emotion, and that's like priceless.
I bet. And I love your answer, honestly. It's so refreshing, authentic, and I think it's great, when you get someone so passionate like that and can connect with their films and people respond and see, it's great when you have people respond like that, because you see what you're doing is right. You're on that right path, and you're just like, wow, my films are actually, reaching out to people, and that's awesome.
Yeah, when it has an impact, it's like more than a movie. But even I've always kind of believed that movies are more than a movie. Like Black Panther, even though it was like a fun superhero thing, that movie is so much more than just a comic book character. It's like a movement. So if a movie can do that, it's amazing. Sometimes they can't, but if they can, I think it's successful.
Right. No, I get you. And to kind of play off, what I asked you asked you before, but who kind of inspired you, as a filmmaker? Who are you inspired by?
As a filmmaker, I look to other people who are doing things that I want to be doing one day. And one of my favorite movie that came out a few years ago, it's called The Vines, and it's directed by Huda Benjamina. It's on Netflix, but she's a French director. And so the story takes place in France, but it's like this group of people. It's like the immigrant experience in France. And it's like this group of people who you don't even think of when you think of France. Like when you think of France, you think of Eiffel Tower, like white people eating croissants. Like that's what you see. But she gives this alternative narrative, and it's like that's what we kind of should all be doing at this point, is like
absolutely
getting movies that are different narratives. And I saw her in a Q&A, and someone asked her like why she decided to tell the story, and like it's kind of funny, and it's kind of it's also hard hitting and tragic, but she said even poor people laugh too. I just thought that was so real, because it's like we sometimes only see people as one thing, like whatever your identity is, like, oh, you're poor, oh, you're an immigrant, oh, you're Black, oh, you're this, and like people just bring their stereotypes to that. But we're just all living, breathing, laughing, loving people. So I thought that was really brilliant. So Huda inspires me. Ava inspires me every day. I follow her on every social media platform. But she just has a light that she brings with her into the world that's really inspiring. And she knows her purpose, and she's on a mission, and she is so good about sticking to that with every decision that she makes. And I think that's really valuable. Ryan Coogler, of course, because Black Panther is probably my favorite movie ever, but he's breaking boundaries and breaking barriers. And when I even went to go see the movie, there was even after the whole hype of it, the moment that stood out to me the most was I was in the movie theater, like walking, and these two little boys that had Black Panther masks on, and they were so excited. They were like 4. Like they probably don't even understand half what's going on in the movie. But just for them to see that representation of themselves, where we have it for so many years, like it's going to be instilled in them forever, and they're so young. But that was a moment for me to see. But those are filmmakers that I look up to.
No, I get that. And I had the same feeling, hey, I'm 25 and I had that same feeling when I watched Black Panther was like, wow. Here we see representation of ourselves on the screen. We see, us being the superheroes. We are being the villains. We are,
Yeah.
we were so many things in that movie. And it's like, oh, thank you, Ryan, for showing us that we can be more than just the stereotypical characters that Hollywood likes to throw. And
Yeah.
it was so refreshing to see.
Yeah. Like even the villainous character, like you understood him, and he had so many complexities and layers. Like that's how life is. Like it's never just black and white.
Exactly. Absolutely. It's never black and white. There's always, I've always, someone told me if you don't see color in life, you don't get the bigger picture. You don't fully
Mhm.
see the bigger picture of life. And that's so true.
Mhm.
You need that to,
Yeah.
yeah, you get what I mean. Yeah, you need that. It was a true statement. So,
I
yeah,
like that. You have to see the colors in life.
yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, you do. You got to see the
Um.
colors in life. It's how you see the bigger picture. If we just see black and white, then we're not getting the full picture. We're just getting
Mhm.
black and white.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's definitely yeah, you get what I mean. You know.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I like to, like, girl, I might show you one of my scripts one day. I'll credit you
That'd be great. That'd be great.
though. Oh,
So,
one more person too that inspires me, my mentor, Octavia Spencer.
yes, yes.
Yeah, she she inspires me just even more than even more than a filmmaker, just like in life. She just her whole outlook on life is really encouraging, and she sees the need for me and like the place for me as a filmmaker, like coming in, and she really taught me to just value my voice and know that my experience is going to be different than others around me, but that doesn't mean that I have to be less than.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I definitely want to dive more into that, especially with the
Mhm.
AT and Hello Lab program. But before that, what actors would you like to one day possibly work with?
Ooh, so many.
Hey, there's a huge pool of actors. I mean, there's a bountiful of choice.
Yeah, um, just people who've been swirling recently. Of course, everybody wants to work with, but I just become like enamored with. I would love to work with Daniel one day. I think that he just has an intensity and realness. Like even though his character is so small, I'm not small, but not one of the main characters of Black Panther. He had a command of the screen.
Hmm.
Um, Timothy Chalamet. Have you seen Call Me by Your Name?
I have not, but I've heard such great reviews about it. I definitely want to check it out, especially if it, when it comes out on DVD. I've been hearing nothing but great things about it. I've heard he did a wonderful job, so I definitely want to see that movie. And he's definitely an actor that's definitely on my radar.
Yeah, you can't take your eyes off him ever in the movie, and even when the camera's not on him, he's still in your head. He's a really strong actor. Um, yeah, I know Timothy's he's great. Storm Reed, actually, it's funny enough. Storm on a different project, she came in audition for something one time, and when we called her back to do callbacks, her agent was like, we can't do the project anymore. We can't keep going with the project anymore because she booked a feature. It was when I was casting for Queen,
Hmm.
and we're like, oh man, like what feature? Like what do you mean? Like she's so good. And then a year later, I see a trailer for Wrinkle in Time. I was like, this got Storm. And it turned out that Storm, she booked Wrinkle in Time, like while we were auditioning for Queen. I was like, you know what? It's just a sign. Like later on, I'll be going hopefully to work with her later on down the line. This is just the entryway. But she gave probably one of the best auditions that I've ever seen in life ever.
Oh,
So it was
wow.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was great. I can watch it a million times over.
Oh, my
Um,
goodness.
yeah, she's amazing. Rachel McAdams, I love, and I've loved her so long. Um, she's an actress that I would love to work with. James McAvoy,
Mm.
he Have you seen Atonement? It's one of my favorite
Oh,
movies. But
yeah.
that's when,
Oh, that is one of my favorite, like, oh my goodness. I just absolutely
yeah,
love that movie. It's one of my favorite Keira Knightley movies as well. So I love that.
yeah, yeah, Keira Knightley too. Keira Knightley too. But James, I've been following him for a long time, and I just think that he's really good and he's really versatile.
Oh,
But
yeah. Very versatile. Very.
yeah,
Probably one of the most versatile actors, in modern age, honestly.
hmm
There really isn't much can't do. Really,
right,
he's proven to do it all. So yeah, he's
yeah.
definitely listening. Hopefully he'll listen to this podcast. Hopefully he'll give you a call. You guys can create
James, hit me up.
something.
Yeah.
That may be a great movie to see.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course Lupita, but
Oh, of course.
I feel like everybody wants to work with Lupita. So
Of course. She's the queen.
yeah, so those are a few. She's a queen.
I mean, that's a very like a diverse, pool of actors that you like to work with. I mean, I think, like I said, James McAvoy, Rachel McAdams. I've loved Rachel McAdams ever since I saw her in Mean Girls. She has definitely come a
Yeah.
long way since Mean Girls. She really has.
Yeah, she has. She has. I go see everything that she's in.
So hopefully if anyone's listening out there, Gabrielle, she's a really talented filmmaker. I feel like you guys should give her a call, make a great movie. Just saying.
Yes. All the good vibes, all the energy, all the juju, bring it to this podcast.
Yes, absolutely. Now I definitely want to dive into your project about Candid and what's it like to be part of the AT&T Hello, Lab Mentorship program.
That program, when I look back, I'm like, okay, what are like the career things or things in my life that has like changed the needle or has made huge impacts? Like that program probably changed my life. But they're so intentional about what they're doing. Like, so the program to be in it, you have to be a person of color, a woman, or LGBT filmmakers, and their whole mentality is that they have to create the opportunity in order to get more voices out there, because the opportunity is not there for a lot of them. Even if the opportunity is there, the mentality of our society is holding us back. So if it's specific and intentional, then there's no way that we can't do it. So
Right.
we were 5 filmmakers, and I was recommended. It was kind of a roundabout way, but I was at Sundance a few years ago, and it was the year that Dope was there. Have you seen that, Dope, or coming on? It's a really good movie. It's on Netflix now. But it was the year that Dope was premiering at Sundance, and I ended up like somehow getting into the after party, like kind of stuck in, kind of fraudulent, but got into the after party, and I ended up meeting his production designer on Dope at the after party. Yeah, Scott Falconer. And Scott, he was just so inspiring, and he was all about like me as a young filmmaker, and my uncle was there too, and he was just encouraging and telling us that we need to get out there. He gave us his card, was like, hit me up if you ever need anything. And I was like, great. So a year later, when I was doing I was shooting Queen, and we lost our production designer like 2 weeks before we were about to shoot. So I was like frantic and desperate and just like freaking out. And I called Scott and I asked him, I told him, I was like, hey, do you remember me? And he said yes. And he's like, what's going on? It's been a year. How are you? And I was like, oh, things are great. By the way, I lost my production designer. Can you production design my movie? And he was like, no, I'm about to do a studio movie, but I can recommend you somebody who I think would be great. And you guys come up together, talk to her, meet her. And we ended up working together for Queen and Candid. So, and we're really good friends now, me and her. But after that happened, it was like maybe a little over a year later too. And I was working at WME. It was funny because I ended up actually working for Rick Femini's agent at WME, which is like such a small world. So like we were kind of already talking and stuff, like over email. I was scheduling. And Rick hit me up one day and he asked me, he's like, hey, I'm a mentor in this program. I think that you should do it. Octavia Spencer is going to be the mentor for you. Do you want to do it? And I was like, is that even a question? Like, pack my bag. Like, where do I need to go?
Thank you.
Who do I need to sign up? It's not even a question. But it turned out that Scott had showed him Queen, the script for Queen, because I sent him all my stuff when I was asking him to be my production designer. But he saw that I could write, and he saw that I had a vision and a passion, and I was driven. So he thought that it was right for me. So I ended up doing it, and it's been amazing ever since, just because of how much exposure that we get to, and the places that we would have never had the opportunity to get in if we weren't attached to the program. So it's been incredible.
Wow, that's amazing though. I mean, honestly, that is incredible. And I would have told him, like, are you seriously asking me if I want to work with Octavia Spencer? I mean, is this a question that you're really asking me right now? Come on. Like anyone in your right mind would say no to working with Octavia Spencer.
Yeah. And at first I thought, like, when I kept looking at the email, like, I asked my friend who we shared desks with, I was like, can you look at this to make sure that this is real? I thought it was like spam. I was like, there's no way Rick is emailing me talking about, do you want to be a mentor by Octavia Spencer? It's just not, no bet. Like, but it was real. And then I went in and met, Full Screen was producing the program, and I went in and met them and pitched some of my ideas, and they're like, whatever you want to do, as long as it's good. So that was my restriction.
That is incredible though. I mean, honestly, that has got to be a whirlwind journey though, but it had to be just absolutely just, yeah. I mean,
yeah, and it happened for a reason. Like, everything, when I look back, I'm like, oh, I had to catch myself and to stop saying that it was so random, because it wasn't random. I think that everything happens for a reason. When I trace back the steps, it's like this led to that, and this person was put into my life for this reason to get me to this place. So it's like all the dots connect eventually. So it's like I was meant to do that.
Right. Absolutely. And I agree with you. Things happen for a reason. So this happened for you for a reason. This happened because you were meant to be on this path. This path is what's, mm-hmm. It's definitely made for you. So can't wait to see where it takes you. And to play off that a little bit more, what future projects are you working on currently?
I'm working right now on the feature version of Queen. It's just a story that's so close to my heart, and it was a story that was kind of just like bursting at the seams, but I couldn't figure out what I was trying to say. And it was all these different interests. I was interested in homelessness because it was part of my personal journey. My family was homeless for a year, and they lived in a motel. And I was trying to figure out how to tie that in, and just like being a Black woman in the world and realizing myself and seeing myself on screen, like, how do I tie that in? And my interest in just like the magic of the world, because I don't know, there's magic everywhere. Like, even if we don't always see it, there's so many things that are just unexplainable and imaginative, and I have a huge imagination. So all of those things kind of inspired Queen, and it's a world that I'm comfortable in being in for as long as it takes to get the script in the place where I need to be. But hopefully that's the next thing that I'll shoot.
Ooh, well, I can't wait. Well, we here at Black TV can't wait to check it out and see it. And I'm excited to see, what that will be like for you. So I'm excited, especially with your right mentorship, you are going to have a really promising career in filmmaking. I have no doubt about that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Problem.
I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So with a little bit of a serious note, Hollywood is going through a day of reckoning with Me Too and the Time's Up and everything. Do you think, with what's happening in Hollywood, do you think Hollywood will finally embrace women as directors and writers?
I think that we're making it so you don't have a choice.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yes.
This is so true. Yeah, we are. Mm-hmm.
And I think that it has to be that way. It has to be that way. We can't just wait for someone to give us permission, because they won't. And like, if you think about just like the reason we are in the place that we are is the power dynamic. And like Hollywood society even as a whole is a power dynamic. And nobody wants to give up power. So nobody's just going to say, hey, here, take all of my power. Here's a basket of it. Here's some power on the side. Here's some power sprinkled onto it. All of it yours. No, that's not going to happen. But we have to take it because we deserve it, and it's already in us. So yes, I think that it is a time of reckoning, and I think that it's really exciting. I mean, it's exciting. Sometimes a little sad the way that it has to happen, and like the stories that you have to hear for people to wake up and realize. But it's definitely like a new day.
Oh yeah.
It's wild to watch. It's wild to watch. I think that people either you'll hop on the train or you'll get left, because it's the future.
Yeah, I agree with it. It's the dawn of a new day. It is the dawn of a new day, and it's time for, those barriers that were there to be completely taken down and to be fully embraced. Because, again, with the success of, Wonder Woman and Lady Bird getting, nominated and so many others with Girls Trip, there's really no reason where the barriers still to be there. So it's definitely a day of reckoning, and it's definitely, time for a new day, pretty much.
Yeah, there's no reason. There's no reason why there's only been like 5 female directors nominated for Best Director. Out of all of the directors in the world, all of the people in the world, 5? That is bizarre to me. And it's just...
Oh, no, I was going to say, even more sad, it's 5 women over 90 years, because that's how long the Academy Award has been.
90 years. Like, what? It doesn't make any sense. And it's for us to talk to people and talk to men who don't understand and don't get it. They're like, what are you guys fighting about? Those numbers don't add up. Like, there's no world where that makes sense. And if it was flipped the other way, that's the only way that they can kind of understand. Like, what if there's only 5 male directors? Like, that sounds crazy. It sounds crazy the same if it's women.
Right. Yeah. When you look at it, when we look at it that way, 5 years, 5 women over 90 years.
90 years.
10
and
more.
And it's not even like
100.
Yeah. And it's not even like there's zero difference in their capability and our capability besides the social construct of it. Like, why can't a woman direct a Star Wars movie or like a huge action? Like, why can't women be on those lists? And now they're starting to. But it's also a matter of the pool and like who studios feel comfortable with giving them these movies. But that's where the opportunity comes in, because people need the opportunity to even make their first movie, to even be considered for a bigger movie or a mid-sized movie.
Right. Or
any movie.
Or they say in Hollywood, a male director can make 1,000 bad movies, but if a woman makes one, then it'll be a long time before she'll get a major opportunity to direct.
Yeah.
And I just
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Not only is that a lot of pressure, but it's a little bit unfair. If we talk about this, it's a little bit unfair. And but. The times are slowly changing. Sad as it is, as 2018 saying that, but it is slowly changing. And so hopefully Hollywood will realize that, women are moneymakers, we are directors, we are writers, we are anything that, any male can do, and we are just as valuable in Hollywood.
Yes. And even more so, like, people want to see these stories. That's the thing. Like, people want to see stories from people of color, stories from women, because they're new and they're different, and like people are always trying to figure out what's new and different. Like, why are the scripts all the same? Because you're letting the same people write them.
Exactly.
Letting the same people write them and make them. Like, no, it's not going to be different and new. Like, you're not going to get a new perspective. So it's time, and we're here for it. So it's happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to go off that a little bit more, what do you hope to accomplish as a filmmaker?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. What do I hope to accomplish? I just hope to make movies. I just hope to make movies that people can watch for however many years it goes on, that people can just watch and enjoy and feel something. Like that's just my whole goal is just to make people feel. And sometimes movies can do that for you, but then hopefully also like to translate that to things that are like happening in the world. So like how Queen, yes, it's about a little girl who's learning herself and becoming a woman, but it's also like told in the world of homelessness. Like hopefully that's just more than what's happening inside of the movie, but it affects something that's in our world too. That's what I hope to do. And I just hope to like have fun too with the movie. Like Black Panther was so fun. And even though it got so real, like he's talking about these changes in my slave ancestors, like there was moments like that. But it doesn't have to be a slavery movie to talk about slavery. It can be the greater movie that mentions it and still gets people thinking. So I think that there's a lot of fun and like different ways that I can tell what I'm trying to do in the world. But yeah, I just want people to enjoy them.
Oh yeah, and I like that. And I really, like I said before, I see, a great promise for you as a filmmaker. So, and with your authentic, with how genuine you are, and how refreshing you are, I definitely see, a great path for you as a filmmaker. So I can't wait to see what more you come up with, and definitely gonna check out your film Queens, what is already done.
Yay! Yeah. Yeah, Queen is finished, and Candid is on DirecTV now. If you have DirecTV, it's on channel 1115.
All right, here at That Black Talent TV. If you want to check out Candid, it is on DirecTV. Make sure you check that out by Gabrielle Shepherd. So, Gabby, one of the last questions I got for you is, what advice can you give to inspiring filmmakers such as yourself? And what's the best advice given to you so far?
The advice that I have, and it sounds so simple and so not even easy, but so abstract, is really just to go for things all the time. Like no permission asked, but really just go for it, because there's no space for people who don't go for it in this industry, because everybody is so hungry, and it's such a lustful industry, and people are thirsty for it, bloodthirsty for it sometimes. And depending on like where, and if that part's that part can be scary sometimes, but if your heart is in the right place and it's really what you're passionate about, then there kind of is no fear. Like once you get to a place where you just are fully confident in your talent and your voice and what you want to do, then the fear kind of doesn't exist. So at that point, then you have nothing to lose. You just go for everything. So that's kind of where my headspace is right now. And the best advice that I've ever gotten, actually, it was from Scott Falconer too. When I was leaving my old job and I was trying to figure out what was next, and I was agonizing, and like I didn't know, and like I was just caught up in this headspace of what am I supposed to do? Like I should be doing this. Like this is where I should be at this moment in time. And Scott told me that I need to stop focusing on where I should be and focus on the opportunities that are around me and where I am right now, and use that to guide me, because there's so many things that are happening that are in plain sight that I'm like too clouded to even realize, just because my brain is like in some other place of the future, and like this is what I should be doing at this age, this is what I should be doing here, I should have this feature done by here, but it's all a spectrum. It's not like a timeline.
Right. And I think that's great advice, actually, given to you by Scott, really, is because those things that, we want to happen for us, will happen to us in time. But right now, it's more important to focus on the things the opportunities we have now and where that's leading us. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it was just really helpful because it's a long haul. Like, this industry is for the long haul, and things happen fast and things happen slowly. The AT&T Hello Lab program came so fast. It went so fast, and then now on to the next thing. It may not be so fast, or it could be. So we can't pigeonhole ourselves in whatever idea we think that we're supposed to be doing, but really just look around us and see what opportunities are already there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what, Gabrielle, all this success is going to happen because you're hardworking, you keep persisting at it. You know, you got a great mentor. Hello. And so, you know,
Hello.
So you are on the right path. You are going to be just fine. I have no doubt about it. I have no doubt that you will one day get those huge opportunities, and, you know, we will see you on a higher platform, and people will go, oh, there's Gabrielle Shepherd. I remember listening to her on Black TV. So, I remember. So we have no doubt.
I receive it. Let's go. I'm ready.
Well, we do appreciate you coming down and talking to us, Gabrielle. Like I said, I'm excited to check out, you know, Queens. I will go out and check out Candid on DirecTV, absolutely. Blacktown TV, make sure you do that as well, and you continue to follow Miss Gabrielle. She's just going to be huge, and we're right behind her 100%.
Oh, much love.
Absolutely.
This is so fun.
Absolutely. Again, we really, really thank you for giving us your thoughts and words today. I have no doubt Blacktown TV family will really appreciate you, you know, talking with us today. So we really thank you for that, and we really appreciate you for
of course.
that. Yeah,
of
we
course.
really do. And so
anytime, all the time.
When more things happen for you, Gabrielle, we definitely want to have you back on the show again and definitely talk about it. So yeah, it was a pleasure having you on here.
No, thanks, Simone. It was fun talking to you. This is awesome.
No problem. All right, everyone, Blacktown TV family, my name is Simone Jackson. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Gabrielle, once again. And if you guys would like to, you know, come down and talk with us here at Blacktown TV or advertise with us, please check us out at info@Blacktown TV. We are always, you know, eager to see more people, you know, wanting to talk with us or advertise with us, so make sure you do so. And again, my name is Simone Jackson. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you, Gabrielle and Blacktown TV family. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.